There we go, you see, BFI Flare. What a fabulous festival it was this year.
Yes, I loved it. I think you were able to do a bit more of it than I was this year.
But one thing that we both saw, Raising Zoey, which is a documentary, a 55-minute documentary about a 13-year-old student called Zoe Luna. And I have to say, I found this really inspiring, and I think you did as well. I found it really optimistic too, and I think it's the sort of thing that I think anyone who is transitioning and goes through that experience, I think they need to watch this because it's really positive.
That's the thing, to just tell people what it's about. So yes, she's a 13-year-old teenage transitioning teen. Her mother is a single parent because we find out that Zoe's father has passed away. We don't know exactly when or why. She has two older brothers, like a sort of, I don't know, maybe 18 or 20 brother and sister who we assume is from a different father. But her mother is just so wonderful.
She's amazing, and do you know what? I think the sister is too.
Yes,
I think the whole family was such...
got behind her, and it was very, very touching because, you know, Zoe was just very, very clear from a very young age that she was a girl and wanted to dress like a girl, and, you know, it wasn't going to go away, and this was her reality. And so her mother got online and did a load of research. The school got to a point at the school, didn't it, where the school was saying, well, what we do in most of these cases is, you know, they just go and change school because it's just easier. And her mother was like, I don't think so. She got online, got support. She found this organisation that would support. She went into the school with this guy and fought Zoe's case. And then when Zoe actually did go to school in her girl clothes, she said that all her friends were really supportive and just said, oh, wow, you look really good. You actually look better. You look great.
Yeah, they were saying her friends they sounded fantastic because they were saying, oh, it really looks like you now, which is exactly the sort of thing you want to hear, I think, when you're transitioning and you're kind of obviously experiencing wearing the clothes that you want to wear. And I think if you get that feedback from your friends, that's the most important thing, with your family, obviously, because they, you know, she had such a supportive family. Like you said, her mother, what a rock, what a
amazing woman.
You know, the perfect role model, I think, for
But one of the things
mother.
her sister said really struck me as well. Her sister, they're all very attractive, the whole family.
Oh my God, that amazing green hair she had.
Sister's quite punky, isn't she? Very pretty girl. And she said that, you know, not everyone had been understanding, not all friends and family had been understanding, and she said, you know, I'm now no longer in contact with a lot of people that I was before Zoe, you know, started going through this. She said, and my life is the better for it. And I thought that was so lovely that they love this little girl so much. They you know, the most important thing is supporting her, and the whole family has risen to the challenge and are going and doing the journey with her.
I found it really heartwarming and just really like a happy story, and it's so good to see them in a happy place, all of them in a happy place, because obviously you see families that go through this kind of experience where it doesn't necessarily, you know, be better for everybody, and I'm not just talking about the person who's going through the transitioning, but obviously the family feel the effects of that too. So
we did see Free Cece, didn't we? And just, I don't know whether we're going to talk about that in depth, but just to refer to that, she says that at 14, so that's another transgender story, but not to digress too much, just in relation to this, she at 14 she left home because her family just couldn't deal with it. And even now, as a sort of adult, I think she's in her late 20s, her mother still calls her by her boy name and, you know, refers to her as him, and, you know, it's still not resolved, and it's not, and that's, it was interesting to me to watch the two documentaries and just to see how, you know, young Zoe is just blossoming and so happy, and it hasn't been an awful thing for her at all. And it's actually been really positive for all her family because they've embraced it. They haven't tried to fight it.
I guess we all have different lives as well, don't we? We all have different experiences and different backgrounds, whereas, you know, we're not all fortunate to have such a powerful family and a supportive family. I think it's something that we all want.
Anyone who is transitioning, especially perhaps a young person, whatever their situation, but I think if they are having trouble at home, this could really, be very life-affirming.
So worth checking out. It's called Raising Zoey, featuring Zoey Luna and her family. 13-year-old student who, I also have to say, was amazing at the age of 13, doing all the Pride festivals, doing all the marches, the campaigning at that age.
No, they were lovely family.
So fabulous to see you on Skype, Katherine. We have got quite a lot of reviews coming up. Very soon we're going to be chatting about Pushing Dead, which is an AIDS comedy. That's what they call it, the AIDS comedy, which we watched, and that was part of the BFI Flare Festival. And also a film which is coming out soon, actually, called Lady Macbeth. That's all on the way.